Keep your autistic kid at home. We don't want him scaring guests, my mom texted. My sister replied, lol, true. So I gave them something else to worry about, losing the wedding venue, their money, and every ounce of fake dignity they had left. Hey Reddit, it's been a while. I never thought I'd end up posting here, but the last year flipped my life upside down. Family drama, betrayal, and one brutal wake-up call that changed everything. I'm not here to vent or play victim, just to share how walking away from the wrong people can sometimes be the only way to protect the right ones. I, Ethan, 29 male, a single dad, and an esthetician. Yeah, skincare, facials, treatments, the whole thing. I'm good at what I do, and it pays the bills. I've got a 10-year-old son named Kevin, and he's my whole world. He's autistic, smart as hell, and funnier than most adults I know. Life wasn't always just me and him. When I was 22, my dad passed away. He was the kind of man everyone respected. Steady, calm, and good at fixing things. His last words to me were burned into my head. Take care of your mom and your sisters. I took that seriously. Maybe too seriously. After he was gone, it felt like the family shifted overnight. My mom, Janice, started treating me less like a son and more like a utility. My sisters, Bella and Nancy, leaned into it. I became the go-to guy for everything. Broken car? Ethan will fix it. Late bill? Ethan will cover it. Some guy dumped them? Ethan will talk to him. For years I went along with it. I thought I was honoring my dad's words. What I didn't realize was that I was raising 3 grown adults who didn't respect me, or anyone who couldn't serve their interests. Then Bella got engaged. That's when things hit a new level of stupid. Bella's fiancé, Nathan, came from money. His family was one of those upper-middle-class types that brag about owning properties like they built them themselves. There was a deal between them. His parents would cover everything: house, furniture, honeymoon, even part of the reception. But Bella had to handle the venue. It was supposed to be her contribution, proof that she could be responsible. Problem was, Bella couldn't be responsible if her life depended on it. She didn't have a job, had blown through her last credit card, and still acted like a celebrity. So, guess who she called? Ethan, it's just a small favor, she said months ago. Voice sugary sweet. You're the only one I trust with this stuff. Next thing I knew, my card was down for a $3,000 deposit on a fancy garden venue. Under my name. I told myself it was fine. Family, right? I handled the meetings, the paperwork, even the coordination. Bella and my mom skipped every appointment, claiming they were too busy. Fast forward to last week. I was in the middle of restocking supplies at work when my phone buzzed. The family group chat. I opened it, expecting something about the wedding schedule. Instead, I read this. Don't come to the wedding. You and Kevin make things awkward. The groom's family are important people. We don't want them thinking autism runs in the family. Also, we don't want him scaring guests. I reread it 3 times. It was from my mom. My chest tightened for a second, not out of sadness, but disbelief. Kevin? The sweetest kid in the world? The one who calls her Nana Janny every time we visit? I stared at the message. My hands felt hot. Then, as if that wasn't enough, Bella replied with a laughing emoji. Nancy followed with another. Mom's just being honest, LL. That was it. No one saw the problem. I sat back in my chair, rubbing my jaw, trying not to laugh. They actually thought this was normal. That cutting me out was okay. That excluding my then 9-year-old because of autism was practical. The more I thought about it, the more it clicked. They'd never seen me or Kevin as equals, just tools. I'd been footing their bills for years. Without me, half of Bella's wedding wouldn't even exist. So, I decided to reply. Not angry, not emotional, just facts. Then you don't need my card for the venue. No emojis, no explanation. Just that. I hit send, put my phone face down, and went back to organizing my workstation like nothing happened. It didn't take long. The chat started lighting up again. A flood of messages popping up on the screen. Bella sent another laughing emoji, then some GIF of a woman rolling her eyes, like none of this mattered. Then my mom wrote, "We'll figure something out. Don't make drama." Drama. That was her word for everything she didn't want to take responsibility for. I just stared at it. They really thought I'd still show up, maybe even still pay for things out of guilt. But something in me shifted right then. A clean break, like a switch flipping off. I thought about my dad. I thought about that promise. Take care of your mom and sisters. Maybe I did that part too literally, because what he didn't say was, at the cost of yourself. I wasn't sad, just clear. Because if my own mother could text me that my son was an embarrassment, then I finally understood my role in this family. I wasn't their brother, son, or uncle. I was just their wallet with a last name. By Monday morning, I'd decided to mentally check out. I was done. I was done waiting for them to act human. I'd promised my dad I'd take care of the family, but that didn't mean letting them turn me into their personal ATM machine. Around noon, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost let it ring out, but something made me pick up. "Hi, is this Ethan Reed?" a woman asked. Her voice sounded familiar. "Yeah, who's this?" "This is Lydia from Garden View Events. You booked our venue for October 19th? My stomach tightened. "Yeah, that's me. What's going on?" She hesitated. "Well, someone from your party, a Janice, tried to process the final payment this morning, but it was declined. Since you're the primary on the contract, I just wanted to confirm the next steps with you." I leaned back in my chair, almost laughing. Of course. My mom was still trying to handle it behind my back, like she hadn't told me to stay home from the wedding 3 days ago. I kept my voice calm. "Just to clarify, the account and contract are under my name, right?" "Yes, sir," she said. "You're the legal client on file." "Good," I replied. "Then if I wanted to cancel the event completely, could I?" She paused for a few seconds, probably wondering what kind of drama she'd just stepped into. "Technically, yes. Since the payments and signatures are yours, you can cancel at any time. There'd be a small fee, but most of your deposit would be refunded or credited toward another event." That was all I needed to hear. "Then let's cancel it." There was silence. Then she said softly, "Are you sure?" "Absolutely," I said. "And I'd like to rebook that same date for a private birthday event." I could almost hear the relief in her voice. "We can do that for you." By the time I hung up, it was done. Bella's wedding venue, gone. Replaced with Kevin's 10th birthday party. I don't think I've smiled that wide in months. That evening, after I closed the clinic, I stopped by a small party store. I texted Kevin's teacher to invite his classmates, a few friends from his therapy group, and booked a simple caterer. For the first time, I wasn't paying for someone else's illusion. I was doing something that made my son happy. A few hours later, the group chat started buzzing. Bella was the first one to panic. "Why did the venue say the booking's been canceled?" Nancy chimed in right after. "Mom's freaking out. They said the account owner requested it." "Was that you?" Then silence for a few minutes. Bella again. "What's going on, Ethan?" "This isn't funny." I didn't reply. I just put my phone on silent and kept figuring out decorations in the kitchen. Kevin came in, holding scissors, trying to cut balloon strings. "Dad, are we really having my party at the garden place?" he asked. "Yep," I said, taping up a green streamer. "It's yours now." He grinned. "Can I invite Miss Kelly?" "Of course," I said. "She's probably the only one there who won't judge my balloon skills." While he giggled, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a text from Hunter, my stepdad. "Your mom's losing her mind." Bella, too. They found out about the cancellation. "I just want you to know I get it. You've done more for them than anyone. You don't deserve this." I sat down and stared at his message for a while. Hunter had always been the quiet type. Not confrontational, just steady. He was the only man in that house who'd ever treated me like I mattered. I texted back, "Appreciate it, Hunter. I'm done being the family's emergency fund." He replied almost instantly, "Good. About time. They need to learn that actions have consequences. I'll try to keep the peace here, but it's ugly. Don't waste your breath," I wrote. They made their choice. The next morning, I got one more call from the venue. Lydia again. "Just confirming everything's set for Kevin's party," she said. "We applied your deposit credit to the new booking, and everything looks good." "Perfect," I told her. Then she hesitated. "By the way, I got a call earlier. A woman tried to rebook the same day under a different name. She sounded determined." I didn't confirm anything, of course. I couldn't help laughing. "Let me guess. Janice?" She chuckled awkwardly. "Yeah. How'd you know?" "Lucky guess," I said. "Thanks for the heads up." After that, I turned off my phone for the day. I didn't want to see any more messages. I spent the rest of the week prepping for Kevin's birthday instead, ordering a custom cake, and booking a magician he liked from a local therapy event. While my sisters were probably running around trying to find another venue, I was out buying dinosaur napkins with Kevin, and it felt right. Every dollar I spent that week was a dollar that actually meant something. I didn't feel guilt anymore. I felt free. By Friday, the group chat had gone silent. No more memes, no more laughing emojis. Just nothing. They still hadn't contacted me directly. No apologies, no explanations, just silence. I didn't need to hear from them anyway, because for the first time in my life, the money I spent didn't buy resentment or fake gratitude. It bought happiness. For me, and for my kid. And that was worth every penny. The silence lasted exactly a couple days before everything went nuclear. Hunter called me first. I was in my treatment room, cleaning up after a facial client when my phone started buzzing. I almost ignored it, but when I saw his name, I answered. "Hey, you good?" I asked. He sighed like he'd been holding it in for hours. "Not really. Your mom's been screaming since this morning. Bella's having a full meltdown, and Nancy's crying every 5 minutes." I wiped down the counter and leaned against it. "Sounds peaceful." He chuckled, but it was the tired kind. "She's saying you embarrassed the family, Ethan. That you jeopardized Bella's future with the groom's family. Her words, not mine." Of course she'd say that. Everything was always about appearances with her. Yeah, because I'm the problem. Not the part where she banned her own grandson from a wedding. She doesn't see it that way, he said quietly. She's convinced this was some power move on your part. She's calling everyone trying to spin it as you being unstable and vindictive. I rolled my eyes. Classic. So what's Bella saying? She's blaming you for ruining her deal. You remember that arrangement she had with the groom's parents? Yeah, I said. The one where they'd buy her a house if she paid for the venue. Right. Well, they found out she didn't actually pay for the venue. She told them it was under your name for technical reasons. They're furious. She's trying to fix it, but she doesn't have the money and they're threatening to call the whole thing off. That one actually made me laugh out loud. Guess she should have thought about that before sending me laughing emojis. Hunter was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I know you've got every reason to wash your hands of them, but I just wanted to warn you. Things are ugly. Your mom's not herself. She hasn't been herself in 10 years, I said. And Hunter, I'm done being their backup plan. I'm not coming to fix anything. He sighed again. Honestly, I think that's the smartest thing you've ever said to me. We hung up after that, and I went back to work like nothing happened. My clients noticed I seemed relaxed that week. They had no idea it was because I'd finally stopped caring. Then, 3 days later, Hunter texted me again. Ethan, you need to see this. Attached was a link. At first, I thought it was a news article or some Facebook post. But when I opened it, my stomach dropped. It was a fundraiser. A public campaign on a donation site. The title read, Help Kevin Get the Therapy He Deserves. I scrolled down, and it got worse. There was a photo of Kevin, one from when he was 5, wearing his headphones and holding a toy truck. Underneath, there was a story written like a pity ad. Single father struggling to afford treatment for his autistic son. Kevin is a bright, sweet boy who just needs consistent care. Every donation helps this family find hope again. The kicker? The contact name on the page was Janice Reed. And the bank account for donations? Hers. My jaw clenched so hard I heard it pop. I called Hunter immediately. Please tell me this is fake. He sounded hesitant. I wish I could. Nancy helped her set it up. They said it's for Kevin's benefit, but they didn't even tell you. I found it scrolling through Facebook. I sat there at my kitchen table, staring at my laptop screen, watching donation notifications pop up. $10, $20, $50. From strangers who thought they were helping a struggling dad. I called my mom. She picked up on the second ring, voice fake, cheerful. Ethan, finally! I was going to call you later. What the hell is that fundraiser? I cut her off. She paused. Oh, that. Isn't it wonderful? Nancy helped me make it. People are already donating. You used Kevin's picture, I said, my voice flat. You wrote lies about me. You're collecting money under your own name. Her tone hardened. Don't be so dramatic. It's for Kevin. We're just trying to help. If it was for Kevin, it wouldn't have your bank account attached to it, I snapped. You should be thankful, she shot back. People want to support you. You act like we're stealing. I laughed, but it came out sharp. You're not helping him. You're using him. Just like you've been using me since Dad died. There was silence on the other end. Then she muttered, You're being ungrateful again. Before I could say more, another voice came in. Hunter's. Janice, stop. You've gone too far. She gasped. Hunter, don't start. No, he said firmly. You don't get to exploit your grandson for cash because your daughter can't fund her own wedding. This isn't helping. It's disgusting. My mom yelled something about doing it for family, but Hunter didn't let her finish. You're doing it for control, he said. You always are. I hung up before I said something I'd regret. My hands were shaking, but not from anger, from clarity. That night, I contacted the fundraiser site, reported it for fraud, sent proof that I was Kevin's father and that Janice had no legal guardianship or authorization. They took it down within hours. I didn't message her again. I didn't warn her. I didn't even tell her what I'd done. Instead, I posted a short message on my own page. If you saw a fundraiser about my son, it's been removed. Kevin is fine. We don't need donations. We just need boundaries. Then I blocked Janice and Nancy everywhere. Phone, socials, email, all of it. Hunter texted later that night. You did the right thing. I told her if she ever tries something like that again, I'm leaving. I replied, you're a better man than she deserves. His response took a few minutes, but when it came, it hit me harder than I expected. Maybe, but you're the only one in this family who still has integrity. Don't lose it trying to fix people who enjoy breaking you. I didn't sleep much that night. I didn't need to, because for the first time, I didn't feel like a bad son or a guilty brother. I just felt done. The next morning, I woke up earlier than usual. I opened my laptop, not to check work emails, but to start cleaning up the digital mess my family had built around me for years. First thing to go was the family phone plan. For years, I'd been paying for 4 lines, mine, my mom's phone, and both my sister's phones. Every month, I justified it by telling myself they needed it, that it was temporary, but temporary turned into years. I logged into the account, removed their numbers, and scheduled the service to terminate at the end of the week. There was a short grace period. Everything would shut off by Friday. The confirmation email popped up with a simple line, "Plan updated successfully." It felt like freedom. Next, I canceled the car rentals under my name. Nancy had been driving one of them for months, a short-term rental that turned into a full-time vehicle. She was supposed to transfer it to her name back in March. Never did. I called the company and told them to remove my payment information immediately. They said they'd contact the driver for return or repossession. Then I pulled up my banking app. There were auto payments for streaming services, insurance, even a random joint grocery fund that somehow only funded my mom's weekly shopping. All of it got canceled, one by one. I was cutting cords, and with every click, my shoulders felt lighter. Around noon, my phone rang. Nancy. I knew that ringtone anywhere. I considered ignoring it, but I picked up. Curiosity more than compassion. Ethan, her voice was shaky. The car company called me. They said they're taking the car. You can't just do that. I can, I said calmly. It's under my name, and I'm not paying for it anymore. But I need it for work, she snapped. You work part-time at a boutique 15 minutes from Mom's house, I said. You can walk or get a bus pass like everyone else. She started crying, the dramatic kind, loud, uneven breaths. You're punishing me for what Mom said. I didn't mean to. I cut her off. You laughed, Nancy. You laughed when Mom said my son was an embarrassment. You can cry all you want, but this isn't punishment. It's correction. You wanted independence. Now you've got it. She went quiet for a second, then hung up without another word. By evening, I'd gotten a few more texts from her, long paragraphs about how families shouldn't turn on each other, and Dad would be disappointed. I didn't reply. She'd never met my dad as a grown man. She had no idea what kind of standards he had. That night, Hunter called. His voice was tired but not angry, more like a man holding a sinking ship together. Ethan, it's getting bad here, he said. Bella's calling every banquet hall in the city. She found one, cheap, small, middle of the week, and she's trying to make it sound classy. She keeps saying it's an intimate celebration. I laughed quietly. That's one way to describe desperation. She's losing her mind, he continued. Your mom's pacing around blaming everyone but herself. The groom's family won't answer her calls. I told them not to expect me to bail them out again, but you know how that goes. I leaned back in my chair. Let me guess. You did anyway? He hesitated. I took out a small loan, $15,000. I know it's stupid, but I can't stand watching them self-destruct. It barely covered the new hall and a few deposits, he added. Most of the other vendors still went unpaid. I rubbed my face. Hunter, they've been self-destructing since Dad died. You're just paying for the fireworks. He sighed. I know, I just can't let things end like this. I thought if I could help them patch this up, maybe they'd learn something. They won't, I said. But I get it. You've got a good heart. Before we hung up, I told him to meet me the next morning for coffee. I had something for him. We met at a small diner near my shop. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, hands rough from work. I slid an envelope across the table. What's this? He asked. $2,000, I said. Take it. I know you took that loan trying to help them. Don't give it to them. Use it for yourself. He stared at the envelope for a long second, like he didn't believe me. Ethan, you don't have to. I know I don't, I said. But you're the only one who ever actually tried to do the right thing. I'm not rewarding them. I'm thanking you. He finally took it, pressing the envelope between his hands like it was something fragile. You know they'll find out. Let them, I said. They'll twist it into something anyway. He smiled faintly. You're turning into your dad, you know. and I looked out the window where the morning sun was hitting the parked cars just right. Nah, I said. I'm just finally acting like he raised me too. We finished our coffee, talked a bit about Kevin's upcoming birthday party, and then went our separate ways. When I got home, Kevin was sitting on the floor surrounded by wrapping paper scraps and balloons. He looked up and said, "Dad, are you happy today?" I smiled. "Yeah, bud. I think I finally am." For the first time, there was no guilt behind those words. No dread waiting to hit. Just peace. That's what it felt like waking up on Kevin's birthday. No alarms, no missed calls from Mom, no chaos. We got ready early for his party at the garden venue. Same place Bella was supposed to have her big day. The irony didn't escape me. When we got there, the staff greeted us with smiles instead of panic. Around noon, I checked my phone for the first time. Dozens of unread messages from Nancy and Mom, all grouped under one thread. The first few were emotional, the next few were angry, and the last ones looked desperate. "You're ruining Bella's life. You should have just stayed quiet. You'll regret this when she's married into money." I didn't reply. Instead, I took a video of Kevin laughing as the magician pulled a coin from behind his ear. That was the only moment I cared about. By 5, the party was wrapping up. The kids were tired, parents were chatting, and Kevin was sitting on a bench eating his second slice of cake, face smeared with frosting. It was perfect. Then my phone buzzed. "Hunter, it's starting. I'll keep you updated." I almost forgot the wedding was that evening, at a budget banquet hall outside town, the kind of place you rent for baby showers and karaoke nights, not the event of the year, as Mom used to call it. I didn't ask for updates, but 20 minutes later, the first photo came through. The hall looked smaller than a high school gym. Beige walls, folding chairs, tacky fake roses strung along plastic tablecloths. Half the tables were empty. Then came a short video. Bella walking down the aisle, smiling too hard, holding fake flowers. The groom's face said everything. Polite, detached, like a man checking out of a bad investment. I watched it once and then put the phone down. About an hour later, my phone buzzed again. Hunter again, but this time, no photos. Just, "You're not going to believe this." I leaned against the car, texting back, "Try me." It took a minute for the next message to come through, but when it did, it was chaos in text form. "Some guy showed up during the reception. Says he's been seeing Bella. Showed messages. Photos. The groom's family lost it. It's a total disaster." I stared at my phone, jaw tightening. On the drive back, I could almost picture it. Bella's dramatic gasp, Mom clutching her pearls, Nancy trying to play peacemaker, while the groom's parents demanded answers. By the time we got home, another text came through from Hunter. The guy had screenshots. Real ones. She'd been seeing him for months. Said she promised him she'd call off the wedding after she got what she needed from the groom's family. I sat down on the couch, laughing under my breath. "Unbelievable," I muttered. Hunter followed up with another message. The groom's family called her a liar. They demanded every dollar back. House deposit, honeymoon fund, everything. They're done. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Of course they did. You can only sell a lie for so long before it catches up. I didn't reply right away. Then I finally typed my response. Mom was worried Kevin would embarrass them. Guess they didn't need him for that. They handled it just fine. Hunter texted back with a simple, "You're not wrong." For the rest of the night, I ignored the nonstop buzzing of my phone. The next morning, Hunter sent the final update. "It's over. The groom's family pulled all their money, demanding reimbursement. House deal canceled. Honeymoon gone. Wedding gift fund locked. They're broke." I sat there for a while, thinking about how poetic it all was. They had everything handed to them. Money, opportunity, a chance to look respectable, and still managed to implode. They didn't need my help destroying themselves. They were perfectly capable of doing it alone. And honestly, it was about time they learned what life looked like without me cleaning up their messes. It didn't take long for reality to hit them. Within 2 weeks of the ruined wedding, the cracks started showing. Bella was broke. The groom's family had pulled everything. The house, the honeymoon, the furniture order. Everything she bragged about vanished overnight. Nancy was in debt up to her neck, trying to keep up with bills she used to quietly forward to me. And Mom's reputation? Burned to the ground. People talk fast in small towns. Vendors who didn't get paid started venting online, and word spread about how the Reeds scammed their own son and got exposed. Every lie they'd told to look important came back 10 times louder. I didn't gloat, didn't even respond when distant cousins started sending, "Did you hear?" texts. I didn't need to. For the first time, silence worked in my favor. but they didn't stay silent for long. The first message came from Nancy. Hey, Ethan. I know things got weird, but I'm really struggling right now. My credit card's maxed out and I can't make rent. Could you just help me this once? I'll pay you back. I read it, locked my phone, and kept working. My next client came in for a facial, and I smiled like nothing happened, because nothing did happen. A few days later, Bella messaged me on Facebook of all places. You don't understand what I'm going through. Everything fell apart. Nathan's family froze the accounts and wants legal action. Please, just a little help until I get back on my feet. The woman who laughed at me for being an embarrassment was now asking for financial support. The irony wasn't lost on me. I didn't reply to her either. Then Mom texted, I know you're mad, but this is still your family. Bella made a mistake, but she's your sister. You've made your point, Ethan. It's time to move forward. What would your dad think? I sat on that text for a while. Then I typed back, I didn't cut anyone off. I just stopped funding my own disrespect. And my dad would be proud of what I've done. No emoji, no period. Just the truth. She didn't respond. That week, Hunter called me again. He sounded different this time. Lighter somehow. You got a minute? He asked. Always, I said. I moved out, he said flatly. Finally did it. I leaned back in my chair. Good for you. About time. He laughed quietly. Yeah, I rented a small place near downtown. Just me, a couch, and a coffee maker. Feels weird, but peaceful. Peaceful's better than miserable, I said. He chuckled. You really are done, huh? Completely. There was a short pause before he said, I wanted you to know something. I updated my insurance policy this week. Added you as a secondary beneficiary. I blinked. Hunter? You didn't have to do that. I did, he said firmly. You're the only one who ever acted like family. You helped me move when your mom wouldn't even lift a box. You paid for things you shouldn't have had to. You've done enough for people who never said thank you. So, yeah, you're getting it. I didn't know what to say for a moment. I appreciate it, I finally said. But you know I didn't help you for that. I know, he said. That's exactly why you deserve it. We talked a while longer. He told me how rested he felt after he left, how Mom called him 6 times in one night crying, saying he was choosing Ethan over his real family. He told her maybe that's because I acted like one. That night, I got one more text from Mom. Your sisters are struggling. Nancy might lose her job. Bella is depressed. I hope you're happy. I typed back, I'm not happy about it. But I warned all of you a long time ago. Actions have consequences. She didn't reply again. Weeks passed. My business picked up. Kevin was doing better at school, starting to make friends and even volunteering to help other kids during group activities. His therapist said he was opening up more, smiling more. That alone made every ounce of stress worth it. One Saturday morning, I was closing up the clinic when Hunter stopped by. He looked rested for once. He handed me a small envelope. Don't freak out, he said. It's just a thank you note. Inside was a card that read, You broke the cycle. That was it. 4 words. But they hit harder than anything my mom ever said in her life. We grabbed lunch afterward, talked about Kevin, about his new place, about how weird it felt not being wrapped up in the Reed family drama. He told me he was dating again. Someone kind, someone quiet. I was genuinely happy for him. Feels strange, doesn't it? He said as we walked out. Being free after living in chaos for so long. Yeah, I said, smiling. But strange is not bad. He nodded. You finally get to live your own life. No more babysitting grown adults. Exactly, I said. I gave them every chance to change. They didn't want to. Now they get to live with it. He smiled. That's fair. They wanted independence. Now they've got it. When I got home that evening, Kevin ran to the door holding a piece of paper. Dad, I drew us, he said proudly. It was him, me, and our little apartment with a sun over it that said, Happy Home. I hung it on the fridge. That night, I looked at it again and thought about how everything started. A promise to take care of my family. A promise I kept until they mistook it for obligation. Now, I finally understood what my dad meant when he said, take care of them. He didn't mean to carry them. He meant protect what mattered and walk away when it didn't. For the first time in years, I didn't feel bitter. I didn't feel angry, just free. Months went by after the wedding fallout, and my life started to look normal again. Kevin was doing great in therapy, and our days finally had rhythm, just peace and purpose. That's when I met her. Her name was Laura. She worked at the bakery next door to my shop. We started off talking casually. She'd come by for skincare advice, and I'd grab a muffin every morning as an excuse to see her. She wasn't flashy or dramatic, just real. The first time she met Kevin, He surprised me by walking right up to her and saying, "You smell like pancakes." She laughed instead of freezing up or making it awkward. From that moment, he liked her. And honestly, so did I. It wasn't instant fireworks. It was slow, calm, easy, the kind of connection you don't have to fight for. She asked questions about Kevin without pity in her tone, and she treated him like a kid, not a diagnosis. That alone told me everything. For the first time in years, my world wasn't about fixing anyone else's problems. It was about building something stable for me and my kid. Then, one Sunday afternoon, I heard a knock on the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. Kevin was in his room drawing, Laura had just left after lunch, and the knock had that slow, hesitant rhythm that made me instantly uneasy. When I opened the door, my mom was standing there. Janice looked older, not just tired, worn down. She had that forced smile people wear when they know they're walking into a conversation they might not survive. "Hi, Ethan," she said softly. "Can we talk?" I let her in. Not because I wanted to, but because I needed to end this the right way. She stood in the living room looking around, her eyes landing on Kevin's drawings taped to the wall. "This place feels nice," she said quietly. "You've done well." I just nodded. "What do you need, Mom?" She took a shaky breath. "I came to say I'm sorry. For everything. The wedding, the fundraiser, the way I talked about Kevin. I lost myself, Ethan. I was trying to hold everything together, and I ended up pushing away the only person who ever actually did. I didn't say anything. I let her keep talking. I miss you," she whispered. "And I miss Kevin. He's growing up, and I've missed it all." I sighed. "You have," I said. "But you didn't just miss it. You chose to." She winced. "I know. I just want to make things right." I shook my head. "You can't fix it, Mom. You can only respect what's left, and what's left is boundaries. I'm not angry anymore, but I'm not letting you in the way you expect. I'm protecting Kevin, and myself. That's all." Her eyes watered. "So you're never coming back?" "I'm not coming back to that version of us," I said. "I hope you get better. I really do. But I'm not going to let you drag me there again." She nodded slowly, like she knew that was the only answer she'd get. She looked around one last time, at the photos, the drawings, the quiet space she'd never managed to create in her own house. Then she said softly, "You turned out more like your father than I ever realized." I didn't know if she meant it as a compliment, but I took it as one. She left without another word. That evening, as the sun went down, I got a call from Hunter. He sounded happier than I'd ever heard him. "You busy next weekend?" he asked. "Not really." "Why?" He laughed. "Because I'm getting married." I sat up straight. "Wait, seriously?" "Yeah," he said. "Her name's Ellen. She's incredible. And I want you and Kevin there. Your family, Ethan. Always will be." For a second, I didn't know what to say. Then I smiled. "We'll be there." Kevin overheard me and came running in. "Are we going to a wedding?" "Yeah, buddy," I said, ruffling his hair. "But this time, it's one we actually want to go to." He grinned. "Can I wear my dinosaur tie?" "Absolutely," I said. That night, after Kevin went to bed, I sat on the couch thinking about how far we'd come, from chaos and guilt to quiet peace. I didn't have to fix anyone anymore. I didn't have to beg for love or buy respect. I just had my kid, my work, and a small circle of people who actually cared. And that was enough. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.